What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Brand new raid boss has arrived on Global, being the Big Mom raid. I remember vividly when this character came out on JP. Lots of people were complaining about it because this was the official introduction of the reduced healing debuff. A lot of people are not a big fan of it, even to this day. I mean, I'm personally not a big fan of it. It does hinder a lot of characters. It makes auto healing and just a lot of things useless in the game. And it's just a really annoying debuff just in general. But in this video today, I have 3 separate teams for you guys that can go ahead and clear the Big Mom raid boss. And I'll go through each of the teams and give you guys the rundown of them. There is one specific team that I am using and it's very, very effective. We'll go through that specifically. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and talk about the character herself, Charlotte Linlin, or Big Mom, the brand new raid boss character. So I have her fully maxed out. I don't have her special maxed yet, obviously. I'll wait for double skill up. But after limit break, she only has 4 socket spots, which is a little bit disappointing. But she is a quick slasher powerhouse character. Her stats after limit break are pretty decent. Over 3000 HP, over 1600 attack. Overall, pretty solid stats. Her captain ability will boost everyone's attack by 2.5, and then if your health is below half, you get 3 times attack. There is a caveat to that though, which is the fact that you get your health cut by 20%. So it's a very similar captain effect to Legend NL, if you guys are familiar with that. You do get your health basically reduced by 20% as soon as you enter the run. And it doesn't mean that you have a full HP bar and then 20% is lost. It just means your base HP, all your character's base HP is reduced by 20% for the fight. It's really annoying, but the way that this character works is you're meant to use her special ability in tandem with her captain ability, and it overall like works reasonably well, but it's still not really an amazing character overall. This is not a character that you should go out of your way to max out. I don't think it's going to be super duper useful, but she will be boosted in the next treasure map, and having a character that is like this in the next treasure map will be useful, I guess, for some of the mini bosses. But as for what her special ability does, it will max out at a 6-turn cooldown, which you need a lot of skills for this guy, but her special maxes out at 6 turns after limit break, will cut your crew's health by 50%, but it deals 100 times the HP that you lost in non-type damage to a single enemy, and changes slots randomly unless they are recovery. So you can see some pretty crazy shenanigans that can go on with this character. If you have her on a team with a significant HP pool, you can do some nuts damage with this. But again, there is a caveat to that with her crewmate ability, which says if you have her on a crew as a sub, she will go ahead and cut your crew's base HP by 30%, but it will go ahead and boost your base recovery by 1.2 times. So you do get a little bit of a boost of recovery there, but hypothetically, if you walk into a dungeon with 100,000 HP and you have this character as a sub, you're basically going down to 70,000 HP as your base. So obviously there are some things that you will have to take into account if you do choose to use this character. But her potential abilities are really nice because she has double special activation where you can completely get her maxed out, and also reduces her own cooldown by 4 turns. So with sockets, you can get her fully maxed out at the start of a run, and you can use her special twice, literally on turn 1 of the fight. So there's some really cool things that you could do if there is like a stage 1 with a really annoying boss. You could just spam her special twice to deal some pretty good damage against it. She does have a support ability while supporting Pero, Sparrow, Daifuku, and Bavarois, giving 7% of her base stats to that character. Overall, as I said, it's not a character that you should really go out of your way to max out, but she's not awful. She will have very niche uses. The amount of damage that she can do is pretty good. But as I said, very, very niche type of character. Alright, so now that we've gone through that, let's go ahead and start talking about the dungeon itself, Clash Big Mom. So let's go ahead and get into it. So with Raid Big Mom, this is definitely one of the more difficult clashes in One Piece Treasure Cruise, I would definitely think, and I think many people would agree with me here. There are just a lot of different things that you have to bring into this fight. Like, you need a character on your crew that can swap to your captain, because on stage 4, lots of bad things happen. But stages 1, you'll get inflicted with the 98 turns of healing down, so any health recovery that you get will be reduced by 90%. As I said, it's going to be one of the more annoying things in this fight. And on stage 3, there is a preemptive attack of 5 turns of attack down. So you need to bring a character that can remove the attack down, or you have to try and stall your way through that. Now the thing is the characters in the front row, the females, whenever they're left alive, even if they're on a 2-turn cooldown or not, they'll actually go ahead and despair you for 10 turns, both of your captains for 10 turns, and the seahorses, whenever they attack on their first attack, will bind a random character on your crew for 6 turns. This is an extremely annoying stage here, and just the fact that you get that attack down inflicted to your team, and you also have to kill everything in 1 turn basically, otherwise you get destroyed, it makes this fight significantly more difficult. But you see here we actually used Raid Pika, or Colosseum Pika, to switch to our captain, which gives us damage reduction and also a little bit of end of turn damage as well, which is pretty good. And on stage 4, there are 2 different variations. There's one with Barajas and one with Daifuku. Now, each of the panels on the left-hand side, you can see, depending on which one you get, just either read the blue one for Daifuku or the yellow one for Barajas. In my opinion, I find Barajas to be a lot easier. He has much less HP. He does have mob characters surrounding him, but it's usually not too much of an issue. With Daifuku, if he is there, he actually attacks you twice every single turn for a pretty big margin. And he also does a 50% health cut if Daifuku is below 30 or 20% HP. But the final boss, Big Mom. Big Mom has 5 million health, and she is a quick character. She despairs your ship for 99 turns. She will burn you for 99 turns, and each burn that you tap perfect with gives you 5,000 damage. And on top of that, she cuts your health in half. So it makes it quite tough. You basically cannot hit perfects with this character unless if you have Capone as your captain to tank the burn damage. If she's alive after turn 4, she'll actually go ahead and blow away 2 of your random crewmates. So make sure that she's dead before turn 4. And when she actually is destroyed, she will fully recover all of her health back to 5 million, and she'll change her color into a strength character. She has 99 turns of immunity, and she'll also go ahead and slot bind your entire team for 99 turns. So you don't get any orbs whatsoever on the revive. So there are definitely ways around it, and you guys will be seeing different variations of that with the different teams here. The Barto and Cavendish team, out of the 3 teams that you guys are seeing in this video, the Barto and Cavendish team, in my opinion, was the most difficult to get around, just because stage 3 and 4 are a little bit choppy with Barto and Cavendish, but the other 2 teams were actually extremely solid, no problems whatsoever, but Barto and Cavendish are really fun to use. So moving on to the team that I am using to farm this is actually the DEX Sabo Team. So shout out to the Shattered Fortress for this team that he posted on Twitter, like when this came out on JP. This team is awesome, honestly. Like there are obviously issues with this team because you need to make sure your tap timing is on point on that final boss stage, and if it's not, then you're in big trouble. So you need to also make sure that when you get to that final boss stage that you have at least 10,000 health so you can hit 2 perfects. You need to make sure that you can at least hit 2 perfects against Big Mom with this specific team here. Otherwise you won't have the damage output to then use V2 Doflamingo on the revive. So this is one strategy that you can adopt, utilizing version 2 Doflamingo to overkill Big Mom on the first turn, and then just use Doflamingo special on the second turn on her revive to completely KO her. You can also go ahead and use a character like Int Mihawk as well. That is also a pretty solid way to get around it as well. Double V2 Doflamingo is a good option. I have seen many people utilize that, and that's pretty effective in getting the job done. But again, it is a little bit more risky. You need to plan your team out correctly so that you do enough overkill damage, because if you don't, you're gonna die. And obviously, with the fact that you have to switch one of your captains into the captain position, or one of your subs into the captain position, because if you don't, you're gonna get that cooldown reduction from the preemptive attacks of stage 4. This also means that your friend captain will never have their special up. So don't bring a friend captain into this fight expecting to use their special ability to help you out, unless if you use it prior to stage 4. So, you know, that's a little bit of a heads up. You know, just don't bring a friend captain just to use them on the final boss stage, because you're never going to get that ready. And the final team that you guys will be seeing after this one will be a Sanji and Judge powerhouse team. The Sanji and Judge team was awesome, super duper reliant, no problems with it whatsoever. Though, you know, obviously, because you are running version 2 Katakuri on the Sanji and Judge team, you need to make sure that you can, you know, take enough damage so that when you are on that revive turn, you can use Katakuri's special ability to give you the most damage output possible. So obviously, when you are on that final boss stage and you are doing your burst turn. And remember, you do get that really significant burn of 5,000 damage per perfect. Definitely try and utilize that. You know, if you're around 20,000 health, do 3 perfects, take, you know, 15,000 damage, and that will add even more damage to Katakuri's special ability. So there was actually one test run I did with this team, and I didn't actually take enough damage, and I wasn't able to KO Big Mom. But then, you know, obviously, once you realize that you want to try and hit as many perfects as possible without dying, of course, that's going to help you out a lot. So this team was extremely comfortable with no issues. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown of this fight. Definitely one of the more challenging raid bosses that we've had on One Piece Treasure Cruise. I believe that the one after this one that should be coming out for Global will be Raid Boss Capone, which I remember that was also quite a tricky raid boss. So I think that's going to be the next one we're going to be looking forward to. So definitely look forward to that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.
Sunny!